What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. If you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. This is Larry Poteat Jr. I'm your real estate agent as well as your financial planning consultant. In today's video, we're going to focus on tracking your expenses. That's right. If you guys haven't seen previous videos, we're focusing in on the BSI challenge, which is the budgeting, saving, and investing challenge for this year. And our first focus is on our budget. Your budget is the foundation of your financial plan. And so everything is derived, everything is taken from your budget. So when you need to figure out how much money you can save, you have to look at your budget. When you need to figure out if you can afford to take a trip, if you can afford to pay for a car, if you can afford to purchase a house, your budget is going to dictate all of those decisions. And so when it comes to tracking expenses, I know it can be very overwhelming. A lot of people get very anxious about it. I hear about it all the time with my clients. And so first and foremost, when it comes to your budget, there are two components. You have your income, which is the money that's coming inside of the household. So you have to know whether you get paid on a monthly basis, 2 times a month, whatever it is, you have to know every single dollar that's coming into your household that's related to income. That's one. Number two is your expenses. Those are those dollars that are leaving the house. You need to track every single dollar. You need to know where every single dollar is going. That part can be overwhelming because a lot of times, especially in this day and age, we don't use cash. Tangible or physical currency, when we see that, it's easy to track. Okay, I have $100 in my pocket. I just paid $5, so I know I have $95 remaining. But in this day and age, like I said, having plastic, having those credit cards, it's easy just to swipe and we just see numbers go. But within our budget, we need to make sure that we're tracking it down in our budget, but also our budget isn't here. It's in black and white. We need to know and track and see in black and white every single dollar that's leaving. It shouldn't be a guessing game. You shouldn't get to the checkout and say, do I have $500 to pay for these $500 pair of shoes? Do I have that? I don't know. And basically, just like you're in Vegas, you're pulling the lever, or in this case, you're swiping and you don't know what you're going to get. No. It's time out for that. We're getting rid of that mindset, that perspective, and we're going to get every dollar down, get every number down, and put it in black and white. Like I said, I know it can be overwhelming, but that's just a start. A lot of times when you think about when you first start something, you first begin something, you're nervous, you're anxious. There's a lot of uncertainty because you don't know what's going to happen. But in this case, we know what's happening. We really need to see it because a lot of times we have glasses on and we see things, but we're not sure if we see it clearly or it's not bright enough so we can really see the full picture. So in this particular case, when it comes to our expenses, we need to write every single expense down. We have our mortgages or rent. We have car notes, we have insurances, we have our utility bills. We have those are pretty consistent, because those are big ticket items, big ticket expenses. But then we have our cell phone bill. We have our subscriptions. You guys know now we have Netflix, Hulu, or if you have cable, but you have Prime, Disney Channel, Paramount. You have so many subscriptions. We need to make sure we have that down because we can get lost in the subscription world because a lot of times it's just on our phone and we're like, oh, $5 here, $10 there, $20 there. It adds up. When we keep it in our head, it's just like, oh, it's $5, it's $10, but that could be 10 times 10 as far as those are the amount of subscriptions that you have. So that's $100 right there. That $100 could have went to savings. That $100 could have went to paying down a debt. So now you can see, once you see the physical number, the tangible number, the $100, and see if you move it from bucket to bucket, how big of a difference that can make. It can go from subscriptions to paying down debt, to paying off student loans, to paying yourself. That's why we need to get our budget intact. And so another set of expenses that I want to focus in on are those variable, or as I call them, budget busters. So when you think about eating out, you think about groceries, that can go from 0 to 100 really quickly, because we can have those moments where I don't feel like eating, or it's convenient to get fast food. It's convenient to sit down at a restaurant. That can add up really quickly. And so once we get a handle on that, then we can get consistent. We can get disciplined. And the discipline is needed because then we can start to shift our mindset, shift our perspective, and have those thoughts like, hey, if I go out to the steakhouse, I'm going to spend at least $250. Do I really need to do that? Or can I save that $250 and that can go into my savings, so I can increase my savings to $5,000 by the end of the year? That's when you start to make those financial decisions. And that's what's going to allow you to, as a part of your budget, set your goals and then accomplish your goals. So that's what we have to focus on. Initially, it's going to be a huge tasking. It's going to be a huge burden to get everything down on paper. And a lot of times we definitely don't want to see it, but it's not about the inconvenience now, because it's a temporary inconvenience. It's about what it's going to do to our budget or do to our future. It's going to free things up down the road. It's going to give us more flexibility. So if the seatbelt is real tight now on our finances, it's very restrictive. Just imagine we're putting ourselves in a position to have a better financial future. That's what it's all about. So yes, it may be overwhelming now. It may be a time that is very anxious right now, but just imagine you get everything down on paper. Every single thing. Like I said, those fixed, those standard expenses, those big ticket items, mortgage, rent. Then we get down to the budget busters. We're talking about our groceries, eating out. You have to think about personal care. When we get our hair done, we get our nails done, massages, all of that is personal. A lot of times we don't think about that because that's just something that we do with extra money. No, within your budget is no such thing as extra money. We're tracking every single dollar. Massages, getting your hair done, nails done. Then once everything is down on paper, you can make a decision. Do I really need to get my hair done every week? Do I really need to get my nails done every 2 weeks? Then you can make a decision and say, hey, I can save that money and put it into another bucket. When we think about taking trips, how many trips do you plan each year? Maybe you need to scale it back to 1 instead of having 5. Maybe you can save that money to pay down debt or to save. Like I said, and I'm going to keep on saying it, once you have it down in black and white, you can start to shift money. Okay, I'm taking it out of the travel bucket. I'm putting it into savings. I'm taking it out of personal care. I'm putting that into helping me save for a house. That's the decisions that you can make by putting down things in black and white and not just keeping it in your head. And so that's what this video is about. It's about tracking expenses, but really trying to take the nervousness out of it, the anxiousness out of it, and just think about the bigger picture. Just think about setting goals and maybe sacrificing for a few months to get to the goal that you need to get to in a couple of months or in a year or 2 years. How about restricting yourself now so you can buy that house next year? or restricting yourself now and not taking any trips this year so that you can buy a car by the end of the year. You can make those decisions once your budget is intact, once you get everything down in black and white. Another thing is, and when I speak to my clients, I give them hypotheticals. So if somebody is having a birthday party at a steakhouse, do you consider that eating out, or does that go into another bucket? Does that go into a miscellaneous? Or another hypothetical situation may be miscellaneous when it comes to household goods. You have to have a bucket for that because we get paper towels, we get toilet paper, we get napkins, we get things, whether it's in bulk or we making those Target runs, those Walmart runs. We have to have a bucket for that too. Same thing with, and my focus is on saving. So you have to have a bucket for saving, not just whatever is left, but a designated amount for saving. You must have a dedicated amount for investing. That's a part of my challenge as well. We're focusing on saving and we're focusing on investing. It's not just, oh, I have $25 left, I'm going to invest. No, whatever number you pick and you designate, that's what's going to go, just like paying rent, paying a car note, paying insurance, paying yourself to invest, paying yourself to save. All of that needs to be captured as well. And we're also focusing in on debt. We have to have everything written down. Student loans, not just a lump sum. If you have multiple loans, all of that needs to be written down. What's the monthly, but also what's the total? Because we can factor that into our goals. Let's attack loan number 1. Let's pay that off so we can focus on loan number 2, loan number 3. Same thing with credit cards. Every single credit card needs to be written down. What's the monthly and then what's the total remaining? Any personal loans, same thing. We need to have the monthly, we need to have the total. Same thing with your mortgage, especially if you don't have any student loans, any credit cards, or any personal loans. If you want to pay your house down, what's remaining on your mortgage? Some of the savings that we have designated to go towards that. We can look at that within the budget as well. So as you can see, your budget is definitely the foundation of your financial plan. And it's going to allow you to make those future financial decisions. But within your budget, and I'm going to continuously reiterate, we're tracking every single dollar, whether it's your standard expenses, your budget busters, as I stated, items that we don't think about, like personal care, miscellaneous, travel. A lot of times, like I said, we don't put travel in there. We take a trip, we may just put it on the credit card and we'll say, hey, we're just going to pay it off when we can pay it off. No, we have to plan for that. If we know we're taking a trip in a couple of months, we need to allot and save money every single month as we get to that particular point. Because guess what? A trip comes in 2 components. It's the amount that we pay to go, whether it's the hotel and the airfare or the transportation, but also once we get there, we have to factor that in as well. There's still food associated with that. There's still maybe excursions or events that we may go to, all of that. So it's 2 components. So we just can't focus on, okay, the hotel is this, the transportation is this. No, we have to factor in, we have to eat while we're there. We're probably going to do activities when we're there. We're still going to have to go shopping or prep for the trip as well. So the various components or various expenses associated with travel as well. So it's those hidden costs that we don't think about. So I hope this video was very productive. As I stated, we have to stay disciplined and we have to stay consistent, but accountability is everything as well. And I hope that takes the anxiousness off of tracking everything down. I hope that takes the nervousness out of this particular exercise. If you need any assistance, feel free to schedule a consultation. I can walk you guys through your financial plan. I can help you with your budget. I can take the nervousness out of this because I definitely don't want you to be nervous or I don't want you to not go any further because of any emotions you may feel towards it, because this is something that has to be done in order to get to your future decisions when it comes to your finances. So like I said, I hope this was helpful. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Have a blessed day.